Okay, I'm trying something new, so let's see how this works out. So I want to go over what we're going to be doing for the InDesign. And so the first thing we need to do is we need to create a page. Now, if you don't speak Pica, you can always open up, change it to inches. This is 8.5 by 11, which is going to be fine. Facing pages puts it into a spread for us. We're going to go ahead and say we want 8, actually let's do 9 columns. Picas in inches is 0.167, so that's the gutter space. And we have a 0.5 inch margin all the way around, which is going to be fine. So we're going to go ahead and create that. And we're going to spin for a second and see how it goes. All right, so now we have our InDesign page, and one of the first things that we want to do, obviously, is to save it. And so we're going to go up here to File, Save, and I want you to learn some discipline when it comes to this. And we are actually going to have a server that we're going to save it to, which I will share in class. But for right now, I have it bookmarked over here in my sidebar. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it InDesign 2020, create, and we're going to call this study for exam. I'm going to save it. Okay, so now let's put some stuff on here. We're going to go File to Place. Let's just see what I've got on my desktop. I'm sure I've got stuff. Oh, here's a PNG of our Facebook page, which everybody needs to join. Right now, I have Madison and Emily, I think, in that space. And everybody else needs to join there. And we need to join the LinkedIn as well, but that's a separate story. Now let's get us some copy to work with. Place. Or you can learn the quick key, Command D. Oh, there's plenty of text in here, so we'll just go ahead and open it. There's lots of different ways. And it's telling me, oh, it uses fonts that are unavailable, which is weird because it's just a Word file. So I'm going to close that and say I don't really care because I'm going to format it anyway. Now I can place this text like this, and then I can take this box when I'm in my pointer tool, and I can change the number of columns. And if you hover in InDesign over these boxes, it'll kick out what it is. And it also depends on what view you're in. I use advanced because it gives me more settings, but sometimes depending on how wide your laptop is and all different kinds of factors, you might have to hunt around for some of these buttons. So I can put this in a 2 column and I can drag it across, and then I can drag it all the way across and say I'm going to put it in 3 columns. Or I can take this plus sign, which is just telling me that there's more, and I can drag it 1, click, 2, click, 3, and 4, which these aren't going to be even. But again, some of the stuff is, if you've used InDesign, it's not, that crazy. But now I've got all this mess. And so anything that's pink, when you place it, it means, hey, you have a problem. There's a font problem. So I'm going to go Command A, and that gets everything in your box, what you can see and not see. And you'll see up here, we're in our type tool because we're playing with the text. I'm just going to go ahead and make this a 12-point font. And we're just going to go with times. Let's just make it regular. Okay. So now we have our times regular. And then for leading, let's just go auto. Leading is the space in between the lines. And then I'm not sure if we have color. Yeah, it looks like we have a color thing. So we're just going to go choose black. And that should take care of all the weirdness. Although there's still a little bit of weirdness, but that's okay. This is just text we're playing with. In a real story, it wouldn't be here. So sometimes you'll see there's weird spaces in here, and sometimes it's because of returns, but sometimes you won't be able to get those out of there. And so you just want to pay attention when you place stories, because spacing is going to make it weird. Um, and I think we're just going to delete this down here and just use this one. Drag it down. I don't know what these are. Can I delete them? I don't know. Stop it. Okay, so we're just going to delete you. Delete. Delete. Even though this isn't really part of what we're doing, it will distract me and make me crazy. So sorry about that. Okay, so now we've got some text on here. So now let's say that we're going to format a text, because we don't want to have to go through this motion every time we place stories, especially in a magazine, and we want them all to be consistent. So this is going to affect the width of the font, and usually you can drop it down to like 90, 95, whatever. And then in a magazine, you know, sometimes you'll see double spaces in between paragraphs, or you'll see a tab, but you should never use both. We are actually going to set a first line indent, and let's see. Yep, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so now this paragraph is set. And so if you don't have paragraph styles over here, what you're going to do is you're going to go up to Window and go down to, well, when I can see it, where is it? Styles. I'm looking for it. And you're going to go to Paragraph Styles. And then once you have it, you can actually drag it over here, and we'll do that in a bit with text wrap. Okay, so I have a paragraph style, and I want it to be, this is what I want. And so I'm going to go to these lines. I'm going to say New Paragraph Style, and I'm going to call it Body Copy. I'm going to say OK. And here's my body copy. And these, heading 1, we can just get rid of those if we want, because in our publication, we just don't need them, right? We can just delete them. Delete. Okay, why are you not deleting? Delete. Delete. I guess we have to tell it via this. Delete style. Let's actually put it to body copy. Okay. And then we're going to delete this again. Delete, 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 delete. Okay. All right, so now we have our body copy font. All right, so let's go ahead and just get rid of this, because we don't need all this stuff, right? We don't need it. Okay, there's some still. So now if I highlight that whole thing again and I click body copy, it's going to change it. Now, whenever you see that little plus sign, it means, uh-oh, there's still some old stuff going on. And so you want to go in here and you want to clear any overrides. And then that way it'll make all of your text conform, okay? And I always like to delete out of your text box until there's no more pluses, because that way you don't have to worry about there being something that's going to get cut off, okay? So now we've got all the text out of this box, okay? So that's how you create paragraph styles. Now let's say that we're going to use master pages. So when you use master pages, what you want to do is you go up to pages, anything below, like it'll say master, this is our actual page. Up here is a master page. So let's say on our master pages, we want to put the page number, okay? I'm going to make them kind of obnoxious just for our thing. So let's just say we're going to put a big 1 in here. Although I don't want to actually type the number 1, because I want you to use the automatic page numbers so that they can match up with the document page of the magazine. So up under object, maybe it's, nope, it's type, sorry. So we're going to go under type, and we're going to insert a special character, and it's a marker, and so we're going to call it the current page number, okay? And so this A, it's a stylized, I mean, it's got the coding in it already, so that whatever page is number you have, it will pick it up. So down here we have page 1, it will pick that up. I'll show you in a second. So we're gonna just kind of make it fun, make it bigger. And I'm using Command Shift greater sign which is next to the question mark, just to make it huge. Oh, too big. Let's go down one. And then I can go up here to my, and I can gray this out by using a lighter tint. Okay. So now let's go look and see. Oh, haha. Let's drag it down on top. All right. I always love it when it clearly does what I want it to. It's clearly not doing what I want it to. Is it because you're in the way? No. Okay. What is the problem? Okay. The way a master page is supposed to work is that when I put something up here, it is supposed to affect it down here. Why it is not doing that, I do not know. Let's see if we can't get it to do on the other page. Well, heck, that does not please me. And copy and paste it because it's the same code, but I'm just going to change the alignment so that it aligns to the right side of the page. Okay, so let's go. Oh, maybe because it's this one. Now let's see if it does it. Haha. Okay, I forget. So when you're in InDesign, let's say we wanted this to be pages 2 and 3. This is another thing that you need to know how to do. So not on your master page down here, you go to this page, and then you're going to go up here to your pages menu. Those little 3 lines indicate it's a menu, and you're going to go down to numbering and section options. And so if we start this page on page 2, if we change it to page 2, then we can pull down the other side of the spread, and now we'll have page 2 and 3. Sometimes to get a spread, if you have one, everybody's like, oh, I have 3 pages. How do I do that? And so let's say we're actually working on pages 15. Or well, you're always going to have your even numbers on the left and your odd on the right. So let's say this is 14 and 15. Again, we change it there, and it changes it automatically, which is really great. Okay, so that is how you create your automatic page numbers and use master pages both. Anything that you put on a master page, and let's say here we want to put a heading up here. Let's say this is the let's call it the class notes, just because that's what I thought of first. And however we're going to do it, we might make it, boy, that's a funky font, which probably won't come. Well, I guess it will because I'm making a video. Never mind. Okay, so here's my class notes there. And now when I go down here, it's there as well. Okay, and I can't move it. Like I can't, if I turn on my, this is, oh, I created a box. Let's delete that. I can't do anything. So that means if it's an element that's going to be the same from page to page and we don't want it to accidentally get moved, it's a great idea to put it on the master page and then build the movable items from there. So I can't really mess with the page. Now, there is a way if we want to override it, we can, but you don't have to show me that for the test. So okay, so we changed the page numbers, set up auto tabs and auto indents. That's using that first line. And then if you want to set up indents, like if you're doing a table, so let's say, let me go, let's see here. I'm trying to think of, well, I'm going to skip that for now. Let's go up here to our photo for a second. Okay, so let's bring our photo over here. Let's say, well, you know, I kind of like this, but I want to change it a little bit. And so I'm just going to hold down on my shift key and grab that. Actually, that's not going to work. I'm going to hold down my option shift key and drag it. Nope, that doesn't work either. Option shift drag from the corner. It will size it for you. And what's nice is that it should size it for you proportionally. How you can check that is you have to select this dial in the middle of the photo, which will, and it turns it kind of an orange color. And these two numbers always need to match. There is a way that you can pull it out of proportion and it looks funky and you don't want to do that. So let's say I just say, I want to fit content to frame. Okay, so now when I click that, one is 67, one's 87. Now on something like this where it's a graphic, you may not notice it, but if it's people, you're going to notice the really long or really uh, fluffy faces, and your people might not appreciate that. So always double check and make sure that these numbers are in proportion. Okay, this is a very common mistake that beginning designers make. Okay, I say okay a lot. I'm very sorry. All right. I think I'll show you how to do tabs in class, face to face, because there's always some questions on that. Okay, how long have I been talking? I don't know, but we're going to see if we could stop the share. Ooh, I don't want to be on camera. And stop recording.